Hello, everyone, and welcome to Zest to Zen with me, Shel, the podcast that will take you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. Today, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome Parveen Smith, a transformative leader, neuroscience-based performance coach, peak performance strategist, and best-selling author. She is a 10 times global award winner and one of Microsoft Magazine's top 10 speakers to follow in 2025, and I am sure beyond 2025. She empowers executives and visionary leaders to unlock their full potential while prioritizing their mental and emotional well-being, which is super important. I know in this episode we will explore how she weaves together the science of mind, cutting-edge strategies, and powerful mindset shifts to transform stress into clarity, anxiety into aligned action, and leadership into lasting impact, which we need more and more and more and more of. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Shel. It's lovely to be here and be on your beautiful podcast. So thank you for having me, first of all. Wow, that was a great introduction. Thank you for sharing that introduction. I know it's power-packed because I'm going to share with you, I've been doing this work for 24 years.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I already feel it. I'm already like, even before the unfolding of it all, I'm just like really feeling into it all and super excited for all you're about to share. And I know even with how I put that together, like it doesn't even cut the edge of what you're doing. Like, people can't see it now. They can see obviously you and your fabulousness, but before you even popped up, just even the background before your video came on was like most admired, and I was just thinking this is just absolutely perfect, like perfect vision for you, image for you, and yeah, it's an honor to connect with you and to just really tap into that beautiful mind and all you're creating. So I'm super excited.
Thank you. Thank you.
So with that in mind, and I'm sure you do experience both polarities, but one key thing I notice about you is the peak performance leaders, okay? Because I think often, when we're talking about mindset, sometimes it's a little like all the shadow, and I know there's elements of that, but I think it's really empowering, and it's nice to see another layer, another perspective of, these people generally, like, let's not make assumptions, but these are really implementing like powerful things into the world, and it's actually in a relatable way, not in a like, oh, they also have it, but there's some sort of like thing where we can all relate to one another. And I think it's truly, one, inspiring, and two, motivating to know that even whatever stage you're at in your life, you're still going to be presented with similar challenges or whatever opportunities for growth, whatever we want to label it as. And that even when, externally it looks like you're absolutely, thriving at life and all this, that there's still things that are going to come in. So with that in mind, I would just love to know your take on that. Mm-hmm. And where do you even begin? I'm sure every single client or person you interact with is so different, but like, where do you even begin?
Where do we actually begin? In my career and in the work that I've been doing for the last 24 years, starts off with mental and emotional well-being. It's the mental health that can affect everything, as we are hearing, especially more since the pandemic, and I think this is really important, that even with peak performance, my job is to help thriving business owners already, CEOs, entrepreneurs, coaches, for example, who are already doing okay and doing great even, but there's something underlying behind all of that could be actually stopping their growth to be shining even more. And for me, I'll just go back a little bit, 20 something years ago, I was working in schools as a mentor, and I mentored children to put a smile on their face. That's how I always start this off, because if I could do that for a child, because we don't know what's happening behind closed doors, we can make an impact, give them the hand holding that they need sometimes when they haven't got the parent support, or if they've been fostered or in different childcare settings, whatever it may be. And they were coming into school and they were going through difficult times. And I just said, if I could just get one little smile out of that child, that would be the most fulfilling thing for me in that time frame. So I saw children going through all sorts of things. You know, one child's parent mother committed suicide, children who were not thriving, children who were scared to speak up, children who kept themselves to themselves too much, for example, because of trauma at home. Could have been all sorts of things. Then you had some children who were actually thriving, but they couldn't communicate properly. You know, so my job was to help them in schools to, I mean, we did school assemblies, I did plays with them, I did art with them, and we did cooking classes, all sorts of things that you can think of that was part of their emotional mental well-being, but sectioned off in different ways that we could bring the activities in. Sitting in a classroom, learning the same maths and English over and over again was boring for a lot of these children. So being called into working in schools, in different schools, to mentor children was such a privilege for me. And unfortunately, though, there's something that did happen during my years of working in schools. I became sick one day myself. I couldn't get out of bed, and my 8-year-old daughter was going, "Mummy, mummy, mummy, get up, we need to go to school." And I just held onto my chest and I couldn't breathe. And I saw everything going black, black, black in front of my eyes. I managed to just about whisper to her to go and run and get the neighbour. And the neighbour called the doctor. The doctor says, "You need an ambulance straight away." So by flashing blue lights, blah, 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 the ambulance came. And I just thought, if I don't see my daughter's face ever again, this is just not right. And I was holding on and holding on. Cutting a long story short, I was in and out of hospital. And this is why mental and emotional health is so important. And I want to share this story with people because we can be working so hard in our everyday jobs, but we forget sometimes to look after ourselves. We don't give ourselves enough of that. So I want to share this story because this is what happened to
Thank you
me.
so much. Thank you. No,
Because
really
if
amazing.
this
Thank
makes
you.
that 1 ounce of difference to somebody who's watching this, I want to be able to share this because I was always striving to be my best mother, be the best mother I possibly could do, working with my children at home, doing the homework with them. I schooled them at home as well as them being schooled at school, you know, so I double schooled them. And then, of course, I did lots of activities. I did a lot of fundraising for different organizations. And then I became sick. And I can remember, you know, that weekend I was holding on to my chest thinking, oh my God, I can't breathe properly. I couldn't understand why. But prior to this, I'd already been on 5 lots of antibiotics and nothing was actually doing the job properly. And that's why something was happening in my chest where I felt a blockage. And during that time frame when you know, I realized, oh my gosh, I've not been looking after my health, I ended up in hospital. And I was in and out of hospital. And my doctor was saying to me, there's something seriously wrong with you. I said, I know there's something seriously wrong. Anyway, I lost my job working in schools because maybe what had happened throughout my whole life was catching up with me at this moment in time.
Yeah.
And I call it anxiety, call it stress, and we can call it trauma. These 3 things were heightened in my body system because everything I went through in my life was now actually catching up with me. Just when you think you're invincible, nothing's going to happen to you, nothing can ever touch you, you know, you're going to keep on living forever and ever and ever. But that didn't
Wow.
happen. So 20 years ago, this happened to me, 20 years this year, and I was literally dying in front of my own family. You know, the doctor kept sending me in hospital. The hospital kept sending me out because there wasn't enough beds. That was back then.
Oh
And
my
I was on a
gosh.
pneumonia ward watching elderly women die, you know,
Mm.
suffering. And I was suffering just as much, but I was younger than them. And literally, you know, they didn't see me probably as vitally important because I was like years younger. So I was sent home to recover at home. Anyway, long story short, I suffered so much over those years. I became disabled. Like I say, I lost my job. I couldn't walk. I couldn't
Oh
talk.
my gosh.
Yes, I couldn't eat and breathe at the same time. It was impossible. And I was bedbound.
Wow.
I was literally bedbound.
God bless you, darling. Um, First of all, thank you so much for sharing that because in you sharing something so, wow, something so massive in your life, one that not only um, allows others to really um, to really, when you share the next part, to really see the light in sometimes what people can be considering a dark or you know, a hard time in their life. Because even listening to you, there was so many mental things that I felt more like, literally physically you had so much to deal with, but mentally you had, like, obviously please correct me if I'm not saying this right, but like you had what you thinking of how your daughter saw you, because she was a big part of the unfolding. And then the work, like, well, why are, you know, then there's like that, then there's then the ageism, and then it's like, okay, so me, them, like, it shouldn't even get to that point. Like, we're all completely different people at different points, regardless of our age, our health, and all this. And something else that really struck really strong to me that you said, and I would love to know your input on this. And I kind of get an idea from how you said it of the fifth antibiotics. But there's a part of me that potentially feels that your mind was and is strong, but you almost like had such like an armor, if you like, of like, this is what I need to do, and actually almost putting yourself second, like, but these kids need me or something, that you just, whether you knew it or not at the time, was suppressing. But did you actually identify that did you even comprehend that? I hope I'm trying to say this right. So what I'm trying to say is, it's almost like I feel like you didn't even you wasn't even aware of yourself in that moment, and then it went and just boom. Because maybe it was like, oh, I've got a cold. Like, I don't know, because I wasn't in your shoes, but almost like, oh, okay, I'll take that. Oh, it's still carrying on. I'll take some more. Oh, I'll get some more. And I think that's even more scarier than what happened, because there'll be people, and I can 100% relate to this, where, yeah, like, there's self-love and there's like pandering and stuff, and there's actually huge signs in our life, and then it hits us. And I feel like you, please, like, you know, elaborate on this, but I feel like you didn't even notice that or see that, and you wasn't really connected to you, which is ironic because you were so connected to everybody else. I think, whew, wow. Yeah.
Good way of you actually explaining this, because it's interesting. I hadn't put myself first. I was putting everybody else first. And so there was a disconnection there. And I just thought, oh, just antibiotics, you know, whatever this is, or whatever it, you know, the infection was, maybe it would just clear off. Wherever they've given it before, it would just clear off. But obviously it didn't, you know. And I did finish all my course of tablets. You know when you're told to finish the whole course, then you go back and you think, oh my God, I'm still not well. But I didn't even put myself first at all. I was too busy worrying about the children, you know, the work that I was doing, get up for work, get on and do the daily chores as we do as mums, you know, and look after the family. And it just hit me that day was one of the most scariest things that's ever happened in my life. Imagine, you know, you're breathing right now and I'm breathing right now. We take it for granted. And that moment when I couldn't breathe, I'm literally thinking, oh, sugar, I'm literally going to die in front of my daughter. But that's exactly what's happening. Everything was shutting down because everything was going black, 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 and black. Like I say, I became disabled, I became bedbound, and my husband became my carer. So he had to look after 3 children and myself, and he lost his job. And it was so debilitating, the condition, because before he finished work, I was paralyzed as well. I went through a lot of paralyzation where I couldn't even move my fingers. If I cried, I couldn't wipe my tears because it was so scary. So I have to put this out to humanity. Look, we take breathing for granted. We take our bodies for granted, our emotional states for granted, our mental states for granted. We take our soul for granted, that we're just here living and existing. But we don't put enough time into the natural care that we should be doing. We should be looking at preventative measures. We should be looking at maintaining a good, healthy body, mind, and soul, so that we can do the work as entrepreneurs, coaches, and leaders. You know, we've got to do this bit first. We've got to do the internal work first. And that's what I've been doing now for 20 years during my recovery, and since my recovery is, you know, what can we do to be healthier? But something happened during a time frame as well, that I came up with a formula called AOT. This was during this
Wow.
dying experience I had. I literally had a death near-death
Wow.
experience. And during that time frame, AOT was founded, it was born. And I started using it on my body, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
Wow.
So even though my lung specialist said to me, Parveen, you are going to be disabled for like 20, 40 years of your life. This is your life in disability.
Ugh,
I refused to believe it because I was not
the
going to
mind.
remain. I was not going to remain disabled because I have a family, a young family, and I needed to get well. So a lot of this goes back to the formula that helped me to recover, because it's the same formula I use for people, whether it's for, like I say, for it works with literally anything and everything, trust me. Because a lot of people say you can't be an expert in everything, but when you use a formula that can help
Mm,
to heal the emotions, the mental state, the physical body, the traumas, and it can actually help to elevate people's business at the same time. It's quite something. So this is what we've been using, to work with people to help them. Like university students have come to me privately. The parents bring and say, "Oh, she's so stressed. Can you help her?" Yes, I can. We have
amazing.
different programs as well, because Soul to Soul Wellbeing is a portal of um like educational programs, as well as physical help with the body system.
Amazing.
It's
But,
more than one thing.
before you share that, I'm super excited. But like, when you kind of zoom out, and I know that's easy to say now, like looking at you radiant, and I'm sure you still have things like we all do. But when you actually zoom out now and you see all those years and what you did in education and what you've discovered now and how you've combined them, wow. Like, no wonder you have this like incredible formula, which I'm super excited to hear about.
Yeah,
Wow.
this is it. When I was young, let's go back to when I was about 4 or 5 years old, probably around about that age group, I always wanted to be a teacher. I used to pretend with my teddies sitting there that I'm the school teacher and they're the people, the children. And guess what? Then I become the teacher. I become a
Mm,
worldwide teacher. I've been teaching this formula to many people in different countries. We've got students here, there, and everywhere. But what I'm trying to share here is that, those experiences of near death, having a
yeah.
formula, being the founder of this formula, which is literally transforming people from the inside out, transforming their emotional, mental, physical selves. And then it's so useful for coaches, it's so useful for entrepreneurs, it's so useful for
Mm,
leaders. Because when I work with people in this sort of field of work, we are literally not just helping their body systems to function greatly, but their clarity is much more focused. They've got
mm,
focused clarity and they're getting on with the work. So when I do my Zoom sessions with people, some of them are really, you know, I'm privileged to be working with quite a lot of people,
yeah.
so some of the people I'm working with, that they are entrepreneurs, they're tycoons. And when I work with them, that we are changing something in them. So they finish the Zoom session, I go, now how do you feel? They go, oh my God, I feel amazing. Now you feel amazing. Go and do what you're meant to do next, because it
Yes.
elevates them. When it elevates them, their business is elevated too.
Yes, yes, yes. And Praveen, the soul to soul shows, because you're not talking to the body, the mind. You're speaking directly to the soul, the source. Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Absolutely beautiful.
Absolutely. So this is it. So, I mean, anyone can have the one-to-one sessions with me, and you don't have to be sick, by the way. You could be a really healthy person, and you're just thinking, I want to have I call it top up sometimes. I'll give you a spark back. It is about having the sessions where you feel maintained really well, but you go upwards. You
Yeah.
actually are flying. And sometimes people come back to me and says, I've completed this, I've done that, I've done that, I've done that. And you think, wow, that's amazing. And sometimes I am literally surprised myself. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, you've achieved all that. And I have had people, this is crazy. I have had people before now who came to me with multiple business owners. And one gentleman who came to me, and he was already a millionaire, and he came to me and says, I could just do with, I need to get rid of this anxiety that I've got at the moment. So I'd work on him, work through his system and everything else. Then he'd go away and he'd come back and says, Parveen, I've made £1 million. I said, what? I says, I've literally
Wow.
made £1 million. So he used to come back so I could reset his body system, and then he'd make the next million, then he'd
Yeah.
make the next million.
Yeah, because
And
everyone has their caps, don't it? Everyone has their limited beliefs, their programming. So even for him, it's like, some people might be like striving for that, but we always should be pushing ourselves for more. And there should be no guilt or shame in that. We should always be changing and evolving and expanding because the more we receive, the more we can give. So beautiful,
absolutely.
beautiful. I love it.
Can I share with you the AOT formula? Just because people
Yes.
wonder, what is AOT? Okay, so I'll put it in simplistic terms for people who are logical minded: awareness,
Yeah.
optimization, and transformation, AOT. But it has a deeper, deeper other meanings to this as well. But just to keep it really simple, it's about how much transformation does the person want when they come to me? Because, sky's the limit. You came to me. You've booked yourself in. Let's get that going now. And
Yeah.
that's when the miracles start to happen for the individual. Things that they would never have expected before can start formulating. They're presented to them. They have opportunities. They're growing and so forth and
Mm,
so forth. And because we'll never stop growing, like you are saying, we have to keep changing. We should be open and be ready for this because we're not meant to be limited human beings,
no.
We can just touch on that. And I say that because look at technology. Look how far technology has come. Look how fast AI has come really, 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 really fast. It's because we're ready for the change as human beings. So for us to acknowledge, let's just say from that point of view, what more can we change? So I train individuals in this. If a person came to me and said, Parveen, can I just have your formula, the AOT formula, because I want to use it on myself every day, like I do.
I want
And
it.
yeah. And guess what? I will train you in it. And it's a gift for life.
Yeah.
No one can ever take it away from you once you've got it. It's like having a cup of coffee a week. That's the price of it, really. That's what we're looking at.
Beautiful.
When you look at what going to be given, you've got it for the entire life that you're going to live. It's just changing you. It changes you from your
Mm,
cellular level, molecular level, completely down to every cell of your being. So
amazing.
imagine being sparked up every day. You're going to achieve things when you've got the spark, you see?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is what we're doing with people. So that's AOT. But so people can have one-to-one sessions or people can have the 2-day training with me, whichever. And I'll take you through an interview process before I say, yes, this is going to do you a great favor. To be honest, to be honest, Shell, it's for every single human being on the
Of
planet.
course it is, but there's also, I would love your take on this. There's also like, say when people come with their vision, you not only have to fully like see that that person can achieve it and hold that space, but you also like need to, yeah, there is an element of like, are we going to be aligned? Because you're putting yourself out there and you're right, it's for everyone. But if you're gonna have someone that's kind of showing up a little bit like, I'm not sure about, you have to, it is an exchange still. So you don't
Yeah,
you have to
definitely.
still protect yourself as well, like, and not just like anyone in you come.
Yes, yes.
But
We
it
do
is for
a lot of
everyone.
discussion in the interview process. Yeah, we do that. And the sort of people that are coming for this. I mean, I will be honest. I know this is a public podcast anyway, but imagine if you could actually give somebody longevity of life. Just imagine.
Hmm.
I'm now talking about people who have been diagnosed with terminal illness.
Oh,
Just take a moment, just take
yeah.
somebody who's been given
Yeah.
terminal illness. What about giving them longevity of life? This is what we do.
And thinking wider than this, regardless of what our mind, because that is the thing, our mind, when something is not familiar, something is unknown, the monkey mind, whatever we want to call it, comes in. But I want, like, just really, like, hold that space, think of it like a kind of teenager or something, and just think, but what if? What if? Because right now, this incredible woman, okay, right in front of you, has something that she has proven results for. What if, regardless of what the mind thinks, what is the like when you think of the two outcomes, you can literally, which I believe, completely change your mind, your cellular structure. We're talking way beyond just like a little thing here. Or, okay, you proved yourself right. But which one would you be willing to gamble on? And I think that's what we need to start remembering in life. There's a reason why you are watching this right now. There's a reason why you are sharing what you're sharing. And yeah, just really open yourself to infinite possibilities and ways. It doesn't always have to be going to see the doctor. Of course, like there's things that you have to take care of yourself and do, but really open your mind to like even when it's unknown and scary, to different ways. And I think that feel the excitement of that. The excitement, what if? I think this is really beautiful. Thank you.
Well, there's so many possibilities with AOT. It's just so open and universal, really. It's just like when I see people who are struggling, especially when it comes to, because we do help people who are terminally ill, we do help people who have gone through cancer, and some people we've given them 9 months of extra time with their families when they were told they were going to be terminal in December. Literally terminal, that they wouldn't have made it that month. They lived another 9 months. Okay. A gentleman who had a brain tumor, he didn't just live 1 year extra, he lived 2 years extra. You see, this is the extra time that we can give people that they can spend with their loved ones. It's priceless, absolutely priceless.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is something that I'm just so passionate about as well. So this is why, I will be going to Thailand next month, because I will be giving a presentation on AUT formula and how it's giving longevity of life and helping people to survive that bit longer, to spend valuable, precious time with their families. And I always say this, listen, I've been there. Nobody wants to die.
No.
Nobody wants to die, and we just want something that could give us a quality of life. And this is what I know. I'm living proof of this. Yeah. If my lung specialist said to me I wouldn't make it and I'd be disabled for the rest of my life, I've gone from being a wheelchair user, bedbound, to world stages.
And I think something that you've really said that's super, super powerful, and I know you provided the two examples, because I think sometimes people get stuck on like the numbers, okay, of like, okay, say it was a year and then the person had 2 years. Remember, this is that person's story, that person's journey, and you don't know the full information of that. Don't think, like really take your mind out of like, oh, so it will only be this much. Like, no. You don't know. Like, you're living proof here right now of you got told that, and look what you're doing now. So like, really be open to like something like really, really beyond your imagination happening. Don't think of it as an extension or something. You have no idea how this incredible woman's going to change your life. So I really want like to just celebrate you for that. And I'm super excited for you. And obviously, because you will be in Thailand, and if people are able to come and see you live, we will put all the information, and people can make it happen if they want to. But also I know you're virtual, which is the blessing of digital world now. And yeah, I feel like there's so much more I could still ask you, but I feel like sometimes, you plant that seed, you share all the information, and sometimes people just need to actually take the action and find out more, have that feeling within them, and then let that drive them. With that in mind, if there was, obviously, if there's anything else you want to share, please use this time. This is a co-creation, not an interview. But one thing I do always love to ask my guests is just intuitively, which I know you are definitely can do easily and effortlessly with your with your beautiful soul to soul wellness and everything. If there was something right now that someone listening would really, really, really benefit from hearing, what would you tell them?
Wow. Your health is your wealth. Your health is your wealth. If we can look at that, I will say it's priceless. I've talked about one health condition with you, but I've had many, many, many traumas in my life. And if I can just share with you, you've got to put yourself first. And it's not selfish to say that. If we don't look after us and maintain our own well-being, whether it's emotional, whether it's mental, whether it's physical, or whether it's on a spiritual soul level, if we do not put that first, we will not thrive in life. And who are you doing this for? You're not
Mm,
just doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your family members, but you've got to put yourself first. And
yeah.
that's one thing I would say. I also wanted to share something else with you, which I can message you a little later. So I have I have been nominated by United Nations
Wow.
Global Peace Council.
Congratulations. Say
Thank
that again, sorry, because just in case it goes over the top of what you said. Can you say that again?
Yes, so I have been nominated by United Nations Global Peace Council for an award and recognition this Friday at House of Parliament in London.
I'm so proud of you. Wow.
And I'm going to share how,
Congratulations.
thank you so much, Shel. I'm going to share how that came about because
Yes, please.
you said something already, that we should strive to do more and be more and to climb the ladder, if you want to call it, and. But what I want to share with you here is that we must always strive to do more and be more and earn more. If, there's nothing wrong with that either, because the more we can do that, the more we can give to humanity.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned earlier on, so over the last 24 years, I did a lot of charity work. These last 24 years, the main part of it, I would say, is the last 20 years during my recovery.
Mhm.
And I have been feeding hungry people around the world for 20 years.
Oh, God
20
bless
years.
you. That's incredible.
And even to the detriment of my own family not having enough food in the cupboards, okay? Because when I have
Wow.
done this, literally, I've had homeless people stay in my garden, I've housed people on my sofa, and honestly, and my heart has always been, what can we do for humanity? This is since I was a young child. We've always done this.
Mm.
I gave pennies. My mum was a single parent with 5 girls, but we managed to find 1 penny to give to the homeless person on the street,
Yeah.
and we were struggling ourselves. This is how it comes about. And I know we have a warrior energy in our culture anyway, especially with what I'm sharing with you right now. And what had happened was over the last 20 years, I literally have fed people in India and Haiti and Turkey and Nepal. When the earthquakes happened, the natural disasters happened, I always knew somebody who was the person straight on the ground who,
Mm.
how the universe works anyway, how they were the first people to contact me, or I just said, let's get this going, let's feed these people, let's get the food,
Mm.
let's get the hygiene stuff to them. In these earthquake zones, especially in Nepal, when people were on the hilltops, on the mountains, there was nothing that could get to them, no jeeps, no helicopters, there's nothing. And I had somebody called Nirmal, and I helped him a lot. He was one of my listeners to one of my radio stations I had years ago. And
Wow.
he was a listener, and he called out, says, Parveen, help, we need your help right now. I says, what do you need? He said, we need food, we need this, we need that. Anyway, so me, myself, and then reaching out to my community in my local area, I put a call out to say, we need some help urgently. And I started giving free sessions of meditation classes, free classes for this, teaching classes, whatever. And I raised the money. And with that money, we sent it to Nepal. Nepal people on the ground got the lentils, the dal, the rice,
Mm.
soap, and a cloth so that we could clean people and give them food. Yeah. And then even on the mountain tops, we had 12 men at a time carrying metal sheets on their head, very heavy metal sheets, up onto the mountains. It took them days, days.
Oh my
But the people
God.
at the top were literally dying because it was either
Mm.
too hot or it was too cold when the sun went down, for example. And they had broken limbs and all sorts. We've got all the footage and everything for this. And we housed them, and the tin huts were made into little shelters where about 8, 9, or 10 people would squeeze in, and it kept them warm at night time. And this is what we did to save lives.
Wow. Thank you so much. Wow. And this is why I feel so privileged to connect with like influential leaders like you, because only in you sharing that, it opens our mind to so much that we have no idea what is going on in the world, because only certain things are being shown to us, and that's just another thing anyway. And in what you've just shared, like straight away, like even with me now, it's like, what could you do today, right now in this moment, to just give a little more love, a little more help, a little more support to humanity? And there's always something we can do. Even like what you said, even in our times of like not even knowing when we're going to eat, there's still, you could still go outside and feed a dog that's on the street, or you can, because remember, it's not just humanity as well. All that's happening. We have responsibility for everything in the world. Thank you. That was really, really powerful. And I know so many people um, will definitely be reflecting on that and thinking of ways that they can help. And I definitely am. And you so rightly deserve that. And I'm super proud of you. And I'll be definitely thinking of you. And yeah, keep shining, keep inspiring. And what a pleasure. What a pleasure it's been. Thank you.
Thank you. And Shel, before we do finish here, my latest book, I've written 3 books. First called Seeing is Believing, Believing is Seeing, Head in Heaven, Feet on Earth, Transformative Path, which is this one here.
Beautiful.
And this is for children, starting off with children maybe 12, 14 years plus, who can read and navigate life. This is about navigating your path, navigating the stresses, the anxieties, the traumas that we may face, and how to get through certain aspects of life, how to adapt when certain situations come, and how we can feel more empowered when we take these routes and these map ways, to get us to where we want to get to. And even though I say it's for children 12, 14 plus, my oldest reader is 86-year-old lawyer in India. And and my other lady who's 82 years old read the book and she said, "Oh my gosh, Parveen," with a message coming back, "I have read your book and I've realized what I have not yet done in life."
Oh, wow.
That's at the age of 82 after reading this book. So this is for coaches, entrepreneurs as well. It's for people who are wanting to look at something very simplistic, but it gives you aha moments, it gives you light bulb moments, and how you can just navigate to the next level of where you want to get to.
Beautiful. And I really love that the way you just explained that of simplistic, because I love that you wrote it for that audience, but in doing that, all can access it. Everybody can access it. Because I think sometimes, and I'm sure like if we dived into it, what in the mind and everything, yes, there is the complex and the terminology, but it's taking that and really simplifying it in a way that others can access and hear it and understand it, and wow, exceptional. Thank you so much. You're
Thank you for
amazing.
today. I mean, I'm more than happy to answer any further questions anybody may have at any point. And people can find me. And I know that, we are here for a reason. And when we're here for a reason, we recognize that we've got to fulfill our passion and purpose of why we are here and help whoever we're here to help, whatever your niche is as well, and make that change. And when I've been into House of Parliament before I do finish, I've spoken to MPs there before now, and they have said it's not the government that are probably going to make the real changes. It's people like us who are making the changes, and we have to do this, whether we collaborate, whether we do it in a certain way, but we are the change makers of the future.
Absolutely. Wow, powerful words. Absolutely. Yes, 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 yes. What a blessing. I'm super excited for you, and I will be 100% following you, following your path, following your transformation, and as much as possible, if I'm able to, like, help and support you and guide you in anything that we can all do to uplift, because it's not a one woman, one man, band impact. Collaborate, join together, and make it happen. Thank you. You're incredible.
Thank you so much for having me today.